If you're going to allow your kids to have a phone or a computer, technology in general, I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. Following through and following up and being consistent takes time. It takes work. It's not easy. And educating yourself takes time and takes work too. But if you're not willing to put in the time and willing to learn and willing to put forth the effort to do due diligence, then be prepared for what might happen. And I hope you don't ever go through what we went through. Our story started in 2013. Our daughter began self-harming. I discovered through a counseling appointment at school that she had downloaded a couple of apps that I had not given her permission to download. The first one was Instagram. The second one was Snapchat. I found through going through her phone that there were some images and things that I was concerned about that were worrisome to me. Images of kids self-harming, words, things that were dark. And I began questioning her and asking her why and what was going on. And I knew that she was self-harming just from the conversation with our counselor at school. My concern grew more and more over time. Just in conversations with her, we began counseling. We did what we thought we were supposed to do as parents. We did what we knew to do, and we followed all of the recommendations of all the professionals. Fast forward through a couple of tumultuous years of her going through depression, still struggling, and then in 2015, she threatened her own life. While she was in the psychiatric unit here in our town, we discovered that a 30-year-old man who had been communicating with her through Kik, a mobile app, had brought her an iPod to our home from Michigan, about 3 hours away. This man was a predator. There was nothing we could do because the app was a Canadian app, and Canadian authorities do not have to release that information to authorities here in America. At that point, we knew we were in deeper than we had ever been before. By 2016, our daughter had not only gotten in deep with other apps like Snapchat and then Text Now, we discovered that she was being manipulated, coerced, and almost threatened by grown men. We had our daughter in a private school setting, a Christian private school. We had her in counseling twice a week, and we were doing everything we knew at home to maintain a stable environment and an open dialogue with her. But she was hurting, and there was really nothing we could do. It was the Thursday before Good Friday, 2016. She ran away. And we realized at that point that it was rock bottom. We got her home that day by the grace of God and began talking with the CIT, conflict intervention team, about getting her some help and getting her to a facility where she could get help and not be at home. She was in agreement with that, but by Monday night, she ran again and ended up in human trafficking. We were told that we had within a 48-hour period to get her back, and by the grace of God, we got her back within 36 hours. When we found her in a one-bedroom apartment with 3 grown men, and the story that she's told us since then is a mother's worst nightmare. And I would never want another mother or father to go through what we've seen our child go through. She will never be the same. Our children in Fort Wayne are being targeted. There are people waiting in the wings, watching what our children are posting, boys and girls. And they're watching for the dark side. They know what to look for. They see the girls that are seeking attention, and they see the boys that are seeking attention. And they're opening up homes. The kids call them trap houses, for these kids to come and go as they please. They can do drugs there. They can have sex there. They can have parties there, whatever they want to do. But in the end, when they get someone who is hurting, or someone who's run away, or somebody who's been hanging out there a little too long, or maybe showing signs of not wanting to go home, those are the kids that they're preying on. Those are the kids that they're targeting. Those are the kids that are going missing. It's right here in Fort Wayne. I saw it with my own eyes. I went to the apartment where she was being held. The men had moved out. They were gone. But what I saw angered me, and it frightened me, and it made it real to me. Where my daughter was being held was it was disgusting. And she wasn't the only one that week. She was one of 3. And the men who had her and the couple who was coming to get her were from Ohio, not so far away. Our neighbors. And they're right here. If I had it all to do over again, there's a lot I would do differently, but I would start with our friendships, our family's friendships. I would purposely surround my family with people who speak love and Christ into us. I would make intentional friendships from church. I would start doing things in groups with other families who are intentional about their love of Christ. I would have... This one's a hard one because as a mom, I was doing everything I knew to do, but I would have educated myself more. I would have reached out to people like Remedy, or I would have reached out to some IT experts that are friends of mine, and I would have said, okay, here's my phone, here's my daughter's phone, help me, tell me what I need to know. I'm not as smart as I think I am. And don't believe everything your teenagers are telling you. I love my daughter, and I trusted her. I don't believe everything she tells me anymore. I got to a point where I was looking at her phone, and I was seeing her text messages, and I was seeing her emails, but I don't know what she deleted. And they can delete what they delete. And they're so much smarter than we are. That I give her credit for. But they're smart in a dangerous way. I would educate myself more. If there was anything that I was going to say from this point forward, if you haven't heard one thing that I've said, and that would be take the time that you would normally be on your phone, or the time that your kids would normally be on their phones at night, and replace that with something loving and edifying and something that's full of fun and family. Make a game night. Pick a night that you all do a painting project. Go for a bike ride. While you're doing those things, have those conversations with your kids that they're reaching out to their friends and strangers for. Talk to them about the things that are going on TV that you're seeing. Be cognizant of what's going on in the real world so you can have the real conversations with them. Talk to them about what's going on in their youth group. Go to youth group with them, visit. It's your right. And don't let them say to you, Mom, you're embarrassing me. Dad, you're embarrassing me. Because I'm going to tell you, the day you pick them up from a human trafficking situation or a lockup situation, You're going to be sorry that you didn't spend that time. You're going to be sorry that you didn't have those hard conversations. I know this because I lived it the day that I picked her up from Allen County Juvenile Lockup and had to put her on a plane to take her to a facility to get her help. All my regrets came flooding through. I would not want a parent to have the same regrets that I do. So looking forward to our future, and when our daughter comes home, I look forward to the nights that we can have family game night and that we can go to youth group with her and that we can start having family painting nights. I wish I would have done it sooner.